Hello guys. Yesterday I received the Place Beyond the Pines Blu-ray, and since I physically don't have it in my hands right here because it's at Pop's house. Most of the Blu-ray movies I don't have no Blu-ray movies here, so my Blu-ray collection is over at Pop's place. But anyways, so I'm not gonna review the Blu-ray itself, but I'm gonna review the film. If you've seen some of my previous videos, I believe on the Brandon Lee 1795 account, you would know that this is the best film of this year. Best. I don't know if I would consider it my favorite film of the year, but it's definitely the best film of the year so far, and that is The Place Beyond the Pines, which the year it states is 2012, but if you the that's the year it says when you read the title on the IMDb page. But if you look, it's actually an R-rated 140-minute crime drama that came out April 19th of 2013. So I'm sure this film came out in the festival season in 2012, but I consider it a 2013 film, and it's the best film of this year so far. There's This year's been a really good year for films, a really good year in movies in general. There's been a lot of good movies this year. Um, this isn't typically a groundbreaking movie um, I would consider this is the end to be a groundbreaking movie, but this could be a groundbreaking movie if it was 100% original, and we'll get to that because this film is like if somebody who's a huge film lover, seen all these great films throughout the recent years, and decided to use plot points because he loves those films. He loves those films, and he wants to give them some attention. And he made add a whole bunch of things from previous films, combined them to make something something great. It's something still great, but not 100% original. This is just not 100% original film. But anyways, let's get down to it. Place Beyond the Pines starts off with you see from the back Ryan Gosling just walking, and seriously, if you put some musical cues from Drive, you you'll get practically the same feel, and you would get confused of this being a being Drive in a way, or at least a continuation of Drive. At least a continuation of Drive. See, okay. Thing is, I I like the movie Drive. I like the movie Drive. I don't think that's a bad film at all. There's just there's a lot more things in it that I don't typically like compared to this film. Like like Ryan like it seems like it's just that film has too much coincidences going on, because it seems like all the criminals are connected. Benicio, the father of the kid in that film, um, is having to deal with some associates of Ryan Gosling's boss, for the auto mechanic, and they know them, and he knows them, vice versa. It just has way too much fucking coincidences going on. Like, everybody fucking knows each other. But that film has a heart. It definitely has a heart, and I respect that about that film. And I prefer the tone. No, not the tone. I prefer the only thing that film has above Police Beyond the Pines is that the style. The style of that film is slightly better than the style of Police Beyond the Pines, but that's nothing really that big of a merit of telling, oh, that's way better. It's all about the plot and characters, and it's all about that. It's all about that in the films. Not about the style, even though that style is kind of good. Style is still needed, but it's not as important. But anyways, yeah, we start off with Ryan Gosling from the back, and his name is Luke Glanton. Luke Glanton. We see him walking, and then we see him working a fair of sorts, and he walks in and starts his bike, and does some sort of cool biker fair thing. And I like it. I like the falling of him from the back side, where he sees back like this, like a no, it's almost like a point of view shot, but unfortunately that would be kind of stupid because there's nobody there to view, and it would be stupid if somebody was following Ryan Gosling's character. But anyways, while he leaves, he meets up with Eva Mendes's character, who wanted to see him, and wanted to see them, and it's just a really it's just intimate. It's an intimate experience. So they interact, and then and it's just like she has a boyfriend named Coffee in her life, but she just has somewhat of a heart because Ryan Gosling, a year before that knocked her up at the same location that the fair is going on, and it's just like, wow. Yeah, she just has a lot going for it. And then after you see Ryan Gosling, and her interacting, and then after that, he continues to do his biker thing, and then he stops by the house, realizes that she had a kid with him, and she said, it's yours, and just has a lot of emotional resonance, and then after that, he's like, he tries to be a good man, and I appreciate that about his character. About his character. He finds out that it's his kid. He goes up and confronts Eva Mendes's character about it, and he's like, he wants to provide for the mother and the kid. It's just like, wow, this is fucking good. This is good. It's emotional. It's developing a good emotional string. It's showing that the characters are conflicted with some sort of moral dilemma, and and you could tell that they're both trying to do the best option. Yeah, and then he goes in and quits his job and just trying to figure out ways to provide and stay there, whatever he thinks is the best option. And then yeah, and then he follows them while their baby gets baptized, and it's just like, this is really cool. This is building up emotional things. It's showing us that the characters are trying to be good people. Then he just goes by and says, I want to make sure that my kid knows every time he eats ice cream, he's gonna see my fucking face. My fucking face. My fucking face. And I just like that. He's just trying to be a good father and yeah, he just wants to be there. This is ultimately a really good heart-filled beginning. Yeah, then he meets up with this this guy who he met during a motorcycle race, a motorcycle thing. And then he offers him a place, and it's just like a typical film. This isn't a typical film. But a typical film would make that guy a scumbag. He has a scumbaggy-ishness to him. He just seems like a scumbag, but he's not. He does do bad things. He is not an angel to his community or to anything. He's not an angel. Let's just keep it at that. Hold on. Yeah, and then you see him having fun with this guy, playing with this Chihuahua, and they're having a fun time. He says, "You want to support your family, so let's you go and I'll help you rob a bank." Then he continues to rob bank. Yeah, I believe it's the 12th. Yeah, I'm doing something. I'm doing something. Yeah, but anyways, yeah, they continue, and then once his friend who he recently befriended feels like it's getting kind of risky, he decides to say call it quits, and yeah, you can tell that he's just trying to think the best option for both of them. And then while that, Ryan Gosling's trying to give his kid a crib because he doesn't like his kid to be in a bed where he could fucking bust his skull open, and then yeah, he starts to build the crib, and then the father, Coffee, the stepfather, Coffee, doesn't like that much. He kicks him out, and Coffee keeps on getting kind of aggressive, he knocks him, and then Ryan Gosling goes. You think that Ryan Gosling's gonna take the kid, but he leaves the kid and gets arrested, and then after that, the bank robbery goes wrong, bank robbery goes on, and then after the bank robbery goes wrong, we meet up with Bradley Cooper's character, who shoots Ryan Gosling, and then it pulls there's a spoiler, a multiple From Dusk Till Dawn-esque qualities about this film. It turns into many different films that are somehow connected to the events of the first like 40 minutes. They're just connected to the whole stories, and they're all basically the world's reactions to the world's reactions to people's decisions. Yeah. And and to be honest, even knowing that's a bit of a, it's not the best to me. I'm different than everybody else. I still like the first part. When me, my mom, and Step Pop saw this in the theaters. My mom absolutely hated it. She hated it, and it's just because she doesn't really understand the artistic merits of this film, and I respect her unappreciative her not her unappreciativeness. That's bad, but just respect that she didn't like it. I respect that. That's just her opinion, but she needs to realize that this is a very artistic film, and it has a lot of meaning, and I love it for that. I love it. After that, we meet up with Bradley Cooper's character, who I forgot his character's name. God damn, I'm horrible. Fuck. It doesn't even say on the fucking front thing. But fuck. Avery. Yeah, Avery. Yeah. We meet up with Avery, who kills, and it's just an easy transition into a different film here. Here, it's just easy transition. It's a good, simple, and great transition into a different plot line, a different story. In other words, the second act of the film. The second act of the film is Bradley Cooper just finished killing a guy, and then he develops a psychological issue with seeing his son, mainly due to the fact that he took the life of a father that has a one-year-old similar to the one-year-old that he has right now. Similar to the 1-year-old he has right now. He developed a psychological issue with taking the life of a father, and he realizes that his his way of putting Ryan Gosling's character to justice wasn't the right way. Wasn't the right way. He did it improperly, and he just feels shitty about it. And it's just all about him developing a moral issue with that way that he. Jesus. Anyways, sorry about that. Fucking rude. Anyways, he's developing a moral issue, and then after that he has his group of corrupt cop friends who basically pretended to like give you, and it's just cute. He has this very attractive wife. His wife is very attractive. Rose, I believe the actress name is Rose Byrne. In this film, she's very attractive. In Insidious, she was attractive. Insidious isn't a good film per se, but she was just attractive. But if you go on her IMDb page, she isn't attractive on her IMDb page. Fuck. Yeah. And yeah. So yeah, she is trying to be a good wife, and after that, the people, the corrupt cops go and compensate the money that was hidden and at the baby's crib, because Ryan Gosling, earlier, I forgot to mention that part, realized that he done a shitty thing, and then he gives her some money for the kid, and then yeah, the corrupt cops sneak in, take the money, and yeah, then they pretend like there's no deal with it, everything's fine, but then they start splitting up the money into portions. Obviously Bradley Cooper, since he's the new hero, gets the huger portion of the money, and then after he gets the huger portion of the money, he's starting to feel guilty about it. And tries to talks to the police, and the police are all surrounding this scandal of people just stealing money and being corrupt cops. While I don't agree with him snitching on his friends, because his friend confided in him to go and take a brick of coke and take it and to say, and he records it, and it's just like, oh really? But yeah, then they find out that he was snitching on him. Then Ray Liotta is saying, I want you to follow me, and we're gonna go in the woods, and we're gonna discuss this. He thinks that he's gonna get killed. but fortunately he does not. And then he goes and tells the FBI what's going on here, and then he starts to become a mayor of sorts, and then mayor of sorts. Um, yeah, and then we meet up with his father, and his father's a nice guy, giving him moral support, and then yeah, then that's pretty much the second act of the film. Then we get to the third and final act of the film, which which most believe only it's just they believe that it doesn't have effect. It doesn't have effect, and it's ultimately just drags down this excellent film, and I disagree. Wholeheartedly, that it makes the film complete. It makes it comes full circle, because 15 years later, the father dies of Bradley Cooper. Then you meet up with Ryan Gosling's kid, and then you meet up with Bradley Cooper's kid, AJ, Jason and AJ, and then they're talking back and forth, and yeah, we realize that that Bradley Cooper's Avery got a divorce with his wife. It's really not well done how they've done that. I honestly, it just feels like okay, you could have explained this. You could have made this film at least 20 minutes of extra excellence. 20 minutes of extra excellence where Bradley Cooper and this girl get a divorce, and you see the divorce procedures, and they expand upon that. I think that would be really interesting. This film is with so much dramatic elements. This film has so much dramatic elements. Why not add an extra dramatic element to beefing up this great story, this ultimately a heavy great, it's just a story thing, and I think that would have been really cool. Like, you see like 20 minutes of them getting divorced and the whole issues they're divorcing, and then cut to 15 years later after the divorce, and you see that they're yeah, but then you see that they're back and forth. But then you meet up with Jason and AJ, who AJ is basically like a Jersey Shore type kid, a Greedo, and then meet up with Jason, which is just like a shy little pot smoker, and they're interacting back and forth. AJ and him become friends, and become friends. They smoke the weed, and then they go off and say that they have fun, and then Jason and AJ get arrested while Jason was getting some ecstasy from a drug dealer in that, and the mother supports them, and then AJ, yeah, then AJ gets pissed off from his father. Avery grabs him and says, "You leave that kid alone. You leave that kid alone." And you could tell that he's feeling guilty. He's feeling guilty, and he knows that his kid's a little punk, and he's trying to protect the weaker Jason from the stronger AJ who could cause a physical or emotional harm to the characters. But yeah, then after that you see Coffee and Jason after dinner going out to a restaurant and eating some ice cream and saying, just having a good talk, and then after that they yeah, AJ talks to him again and says, "I apologize for you fucking me out of $500, 500, and then yeah, he says, "The one way that you could help me out is just go and steal some opium, oxycons from a prescription." And then he goes to the party. He finds out that AJ's Avery's son, and then he gets pissed off and starts fighting. And then AJ starts beating the fuck out of him, and then he's like, then he goes to hospital, gets fixed up, and then while his mother's getting in the car, he escapes. He goes around and goes and gets a gun, so he got to attack AJ, and AJ's at home. I think that AJ got shot, and then yeah, then you think that was gonna be AJ was gonna get killed by Jason, and there's just a good little, there's plenty of good things that make this film come full circle, not a generic revenge plot, a plot turn near the end. And then yeah, then he takes Bradley Cooper to the woods where Bradley Cooper thinks that he killed his son AJ, but he didn't. And then he sees the photo of his father and him as a baby, and the mother, and then he decides this is wrong. And so he walks away, steals the car, and then he goes on to they go on their separate ways. AJ becomes a marriage father, but I think becomes a clean cut citizen, and then while Jason goes off and becomes a runaway from his parents, a runaway from his mom, his step pop, and he decided that was the best option. And I say that this film is terrific. It's terrific. It's the best film of this year. I'm sorry that my mom didn't really like it when we saw it in the theaters this year. It's really sad. It's really sad because this film has so much going for it. It has so much plot. It has so much plot in detailed characters, and just ultimately it's a really good film. It pulls many from Dusk Till Dawn's, aka the 180 twist, on you, and I say that this is just terrific. It's just a fucking terrific film. the meaning, there's some meaning to it. It's just that you, whatever you try to do, even if you try to be the best man in the world, and do the best things, there's going to be consequences. This is just a big old film about that people in your life, for many years, may may suffer the consequences of your previous actions, and just as it shows you the moral dilemmas. It shows you so much emotional resonance. And if you ask me what do I consider the best act of the film? I consider the third act the best part of this film. I believe that it doesn't drag down the plot. I believe that it makes the film come full circle. Full circle. It's about the whole film is not about Ryan Gosling and Bradley Cooper. They're secondary characters to the real build up of the two main characters, AJ and Jason. Sure, the whole film is trying to make you go different, use your brain to go and have different interpretations of who's going to be the main character. At first you thought that it's going to be about Ryan Gosling, and then near the second portion you thought it was going to be Bradley Cooper. But it's really about the one-year-old babies in both segments of the film. They're 1 year olds, and then you see them grow up to be teenagers in high school. It's really AJ and Jason are the main characters. More Jason than AJ. Yeah, it just builds up to a great climax. This film could seriously go into the typical "let's get a revenge" American History X ending scenario, which I like. American History X. I think that's a terrific film. But this film isn't trying to, in a way that it rips off Drive slightly in the beginning, and it rips off Drive in the beginning, or it could just be a mere coincidence of Ryan Gosling practically playing the same character. Maybe Luke Glanton is Driver from Drive after the events of Drive. That could be a cool thought. That could be a cool way of thinking of it. But yeah, it starts off as a Drive ripoff, and then it becomes slightly a Training Day. I like both Drive and Training Day, both terrific films, and then Training Day ripoff, and then it becomes a teen drama. It just has so much going for it. It's just a terrific film, and the acting in this film is terrific. It's just a terrific acting. Really, really, really down to the grain, down to reality performances. See, From Dusk Till Dawn will always be my favorite film, but that film this film has something that From Dusk Till Dawn doesn't have. 100% realism. I love From Dusk Till Dawn. I love it for what it is, but it changes. It starts off as this realistic package into a fantasy land package, which I respect. But this film is 100% realistic, and with the title Place Beyond the Pines, the common interpretation is that this is going to be a horror film. I love horror films. Horror films are my favorite genre of film, but this has a lot. The title just gives you the impression that this is going to be a horror film, but it's not. It's a terrific drama. I'm not a big fan of dramas to begin with. I think that dramas are the worst genre of film. There's quite a few that I like. I like The Social Network. The Social Network is a great film. I like Slumdog Millionaire. That's a terrific film. I like The Artist. It's a terrific film. I consider that a drama. Che. That's a terrific drama. There's plenty of good dramas. I'm just not a big fan of movies that make me go whine, and cry. I want films that pull my emotional strings, and this film pulls on my emotional strings terrifically, top notch, just fucking top notch. Drive was directed by Nicholas Winding Refn, but this is directed by Derek Sanfranz, who directed like Blue Valentine, and a few TV documentaries before he went on to direct this highly ambitious art film. It's just really is a huge art film. I can't really say much more than it's a really good film. It puts the film Flight. I fucking didn't like the movie Flight with oh God, Denzel Washington. I didn't really like that film. That film, I think, let's see what Flight got. If it got more than a 7.5 out of 10, I'm gonna be pissed. Oh, it got 7.7, so it got 2 less. So thank God. This film, I don't know if it's probably a little bit too. It probably was during the Oscar season. So I just don't really see that this film is gonna get the Oscar, or at least Academy Award nominee. Like it really deserves it. It really fucking deserves it. At least make this film Best Picture. I don't give a fuck about the Fruitville Station, that film that recently came out, because to me, my knowledge of that film is just based on real life, and films that are based on real life, to me, shouldn't be qualified for a Best Picture nomination. This film isn't based about it sure is not 100% original, but this film here isn't based on it isn't a remake. It isn't based on a book. It isn't based on anything. Sure shares. Yeah. Hello.
Can you turn it off?
I'm doing. Hold on. Um, yeah, it's based on a book, and I recommend it. Thank you, and thank you, and watch this film. And Newt 138, Newt 138, watch this film, please. Newt 138, please watch this film, and give me your opinion on it. Give me your opinion on it. I'm really curious. I want to see you do your own review on it, because it's a terrific film. Thank you guys for watching, and bye.